right. Chris Otten is here. We had called you earlier. Would you come forward? Zabari Zekia, citizen. Adrian Madsen, citizen. We have 1, 2, 3. Nicole Armbruster, citizen. All right, we have our 4. All right, let's start with you, Mr. Otten, and then please, if you will, go in the way I called you. And did everybody give me your testimony, copies of your testimony?
I guess I need to email it to you.
Okay.
That's okay. I can do the
same. Same. All right, just be sure, those of you that didn't come with your copies of your testimony, please get them to us so we can make them part of the official record.
Great.
All right, Mr. Otten.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Schwartz, for holding this hearing. I was actually at the Kwame Brown hearing last week about public-private partnerships. And in terms of today's testimony, what I want to do is just read off some of the highlights from that testimony and then go into a ad hoc slideshow here. So let me start with the public-private partnerships idea. And I made a point to Kwame that PPPs are actually 1P, privatization. When you sell public property, you're essentially privatizing public property. And once things go private, they very rarely, if ever, come back into public purview, as you know. And also, once things go private, such as land, we lose many of the constitutional privileges that we're afforded on public property. We lose our ability to hold account the managers of the land and services when they go private. Private managers say, see me in court, where you'll need to hire big-time lawyers to win accountability. Whereas when services remain in public purview, as we are here now, we're testifying, there's hearings, we can hold our public officials to account. So what I want to say in terms of today's testimony, specifically to you, Carol, and maybe if the cameraman could zoom in on my ad hoc slideshow here. Very good.
Camera going there.
Excellent, thank you. So obviously, we can't sell our public land anymore. That's got to go. Disposal needs to be rid from the vernacular of public property. Right here.
Did you do those drawings?
These are a friend of mine did, a young friend of mine. You can see there's a school here, right? Now, one of the things we were talking about is repurposing. When this school has to be consolidated for unknown reasons, typically, you can turn that into a rec center or perhaps a volunteer center. And if you're really bold, you can maybe turn it into a clinic or a dental clinic. I need some of that help myself. I would love a local dental clinic. Maybe affordable housing or a homeless shelter, senior housing right here. And these can all be turned into each other. And of course, finally, the library. God forbid we lose those, right? Or a literacy training center. So we have that. So a school can be turned into any one of these, and any one of these can be turned into a school, and vice versa, and all in between. So we don't have to sell. We could repurpose. Now, obviously, there's also vacant lots out there, as you know, and vacant lots can serve a lot of different purposes as well. Wind, solar energy farms, so that we can produce our own local energy right here without having to rely on coal. And we got urban farming. Mayor Williams, as you probably remember, really did a number to our public gardens. Really destroyed a lot of public gardens in the city. We could turn our vacant lots into public gardens again, or create wild refuges for ecological diversity. And with global warming very apparent these days, these are sort of things that we might have to use our public property in an emergency situation. So getting rid of the public property now is really short-sighted when we have such long-term concerns ahead of us. So bottom line is, don't sell our land. Repurpose it in the ways I've demonstrated. If you have to develop for commercial interest, then use creative leasing, tax credits, and one-time construction contracts, but don't sell our land. And I'd like to ask you that you refrain from using and implementing the word disposal of our public land.
All right, well, I appreciate your asking that, but I won't.
Is there a reason why?
Well, no, as I said, I think we've got a balancing act to do, and I'm certainly not, we'll do a much longer, stronger process for surplusing our land. And I like the repurposing our land first and foremost. I mean, I've added to my vocabulary today.
Will you write that into legislation?
Well, I'll see. But I am not going to have only land can be repurposed, no land can ever be surplused or disposed of. I would not do that. I told you I'm a balancer. And
Things seem to be out of balance right now, seriously out of balance.
Well, listen, fine. If you mean if I don't agree with you 100%, I'm out of balance?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the way that our public property has been managed in this city is one whereby private interests are clearly winning out over the public.
I was personalizing that because I thought you said you, and I thought you meant me.
No, this is balance between public and private. Public and private.
So I took
not you and me. I'm not personalizing this
yes.
in any way.
No, but now that I understand what you were saying, yes, I do believe we've been out of balance and that we have certainly favored surplusing and disposing of more than utilizing for our own purposes. I do agree with that.
And it's got to end. It's got to stop.
All right, well, that's why we're here. We're here to look at a better process.
Very good.
And even if it doesn't end or stop, it will be a better process to ensure that what we surplus and what we dispose of, we've already gone through a process that I think will be far better than the lack of process we have today. All right, thank you.